It's time now for the Art Connection of East Texas. The Art Connection of East Texas is sponsored by the Judy Koonsman team at Keller Williams Realty. They sell real estate with a smile. Now let's welcome your host and co-host of the Art Connection of East Texas, Nita Fran Ward and Cindy Trimble.
Good morning. This is Art Connection of East Texas, and we're so happy to be with you this morning. Good morning, Cindy. Glad you're doing better.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday.
Well, yes, and we have two wonderful artists with us this morning, Gaylon Dingler and David Ackerson. Both of these gentlemen have been through the fire. They have taught art in public schools, and it's so wonderful to sit and visit with them and talk about the times that they've had and how they approached art with their students. So we're going to interview them in a few minutes, and I think you're really going to enjoy that.
I did want to let everyone know, too, we did have AC Gentry scheduled this morning, and so respectfully he was not able to attend. So these lovely, kind, respectful gentlemen stepped up to the plate. So we are thankful you're here with us.
That's
Thank you.
right. That is very true. So we are wanting to announce about Gold Leaf Gallery. Tracy Brevard called me this week. We were actually driving in from New Mexico, and she called and said that she was going to have a summer art sale, and so I want to let people know to go by there and visit Tracy.
They have a lot of art. I was looking online yesterday.
She does. So we want very much for people to go by and see what she has on sale. Also, Silver Lining Antiques and Royal Passage in the Bergfield Center, both of those antique stores, which are super, super antique stores, they are having a summer sale. And so we want people to go in and see their offerings.
See, I love to go and get the old vintage gloves. Those are one of the things I've always loved to go and get. And hats. I used to have a whole collection of old hats.
Well, we want to talk about the
Larry
new Design Center because Larry Lott has become a new sponsor of ours. And we thank you, Larry, for being our sponsor and keep the Art Connection of East Texas flowing. So talk about Larry and the new Design Center, Cindy.
Well, it is very exciting as we continue to move that pendulum back to the downtown Tyler district, the District of Arts. Larry has put his new warehouse there, and it's at 512 East Ferguson. So if you're on Beckham, it's just a block off of Beckham on East Ferguson in downtown Tyler. He has done a fabulous job with his showroom. It's over 15,000 square feet of opulent luxury. Larry, nobody does it like you, so congratulations.
Yes, and we were there. We saw it when it was installed, and he really did do a great job.
When it's ever changing, such creativity.
Of course it is. And we want to make a statement here because interior design, people who use a room as their art palette and their art canvas, that's what they do. They are designers, but they are artists at the best.
Well, and there is a new virtual home. You're going to see this in the tylerpaper.com. Also, KTBB is a sponsor, and you're going to see Larry Lott. You can actually go online and enroll for some prizes on the virtual home.
Well, glad to know that. And I want to say thank you to Brad Bergfield Insurance Agency. He has been a sponsor of ours from the very get-go. And so has Gold Leaf Gallery. So thank you, Tracy, very much. And our new sponsor, Judy Koonsman, Keller Williams team over there, and they are sponsors. So
thank you so much.
We that's what keeps us rolling.
Art Connection.
Yes.
We keep meeting new friends, which is just wonderful.
And Mr. Gentry, we are sad that you are not here.
I know.
Remember, parents, grandparents, East Texas Museum of Art. We want you to take your children there, enroll them in the art classes. It's a great way for them to spend some quality time, creative time, and allow these children to have that opportunity as well as the experience of being inside an art museum. If you build within them the love of art at a young age, and that's even bringing them into Valorosa Gallery, we love for you to bring in your children. I was a children's librarian. I can deal with children in the gallery. Bring your children in. Walk them around. Let them look at the art. Let them choose their favorite pieces of art. Let them start thinking about what is art and seeing good quality art inside of that kind of setting. So we invite you to come in to Valorosa Designs and Gallery in the Bergfield Center.
And you have such an array of all your beautiful glasswork and just so many different influential artists that are represented there, and it's always ever changing.
Yes. Well, Mr. Dingler, Good morning. How are you,
Good morning.
Gaylon?
How are you?
Oh, I'm so glad to have you. And Gaylon is one of the artists that shows in Valorosa Designs and Gallery. And good morning to you, Mr. David Ackerson.
Good
so
morning.
nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And I want to say this. Several years ago, and I've thought about this so many times, this actually happened in Europe, and it happened a long, long time ago. There was a statement that was made about a young violinist who had been studying and studying and studying for years. He had played concerts. He went back to his master teacher, and he said, "Now what do I do?" And the teacher said, "Now you teach. You are ready to teach." So when a person hits that level to where they're really ready to give to someone else what they know and inspire them to be as good as they can be, you really have hit the high level. I give great kudos to any teacher out there, and specifically to art teachers, because you bring in children, and it's an environment that really is, it's not, you can't control it too much. In order for them to have the freedom to express themselves, it has to be kind of a free classroom setting. And so, Gaylon, talk about your career as an artist. Then we're going to go back in a few minutes. We're going to talk about when you began to become an artist and when you knew that you were going to be an artist. So, but tell me about your classroom.
I tried to go back in my past and pick up the things that helped me the most when I was learning. And I was fortunate enough to have an art teacher here in Tyler named John C. Kittrell. And I never intended to be an artist in any way, form, or fashion. But
Just kind of came on you?
A lady at Hogg School, where I went to junior high, her son was the most popular, I guess, kid in school, and she decided to give art lessons. So everybody in the school wanted to take art lessons. So I went home and asked my mother, "Can I take art lessons?" And she immediately said no. And you have no art ability whatsoever. She never put anything on the refrigerator, I know that.
Aww.
And
I bet she would now.
and so I couldn't take art lessons. Well, I just knew, being in junior high, that my life was doomed. You know, I was going to be out of the mainstream of the social activity and all that. And so I pleaded with my mother. And in 2 weeks, she came and picked me up and said, "You're going to art lessons." And I thought, this was the greatest day in my life. Remember, I didn't care anything about art. It was just going to be with my friends. And it wasn't the lady at Hogg School. It was John C. Kittrell. And he was a trained artist. And when I discovered that, I threw a temper tantrum probably, but since lessons in 1955 cost $16.50 a month, I was taking art lessons. So she took me to his house, and she said, "Go back in the back, there's a studio." And I went out in there. In that 2-hour lesson, I came out knowing that I could be an artist.
My.
In the sense that he taught us art, and that was my belief from the very beginning. If you're interested in art, you can learn art. It's something that there are people that are born talented and obviously have it, but like me, I learned it and I was taught it.
That's good to
and
know.
it started with John C. Kittrell.
A little inspiration.
And I took lessons from about the 7th grade till 10th grade, when I had to get a job to buy gasoline so I could drive up and down Broadway.
Sure you did. We all did that, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Did you, Cindy? Well, David, were you from Tyler?
No.
So you didn't drive up and down Broadway
No,
at 15.
I didn't even know Broadway at that time.
We had driver's license at 14. Is that not the scariest thing?
That would be very scary.
I wasn't that lucky.
Oh,
I had been
Okay.
14.
all right. We are getting ready to take our first commercial break, and we will be right back with you. Just as soon as we come back, we're going to talk to David about his classroom.
Are you looking for an excellent and professional real estate team? Judy Koonsman and her team of professionals at Keller Williams Realty are ready and excited to help you with your real estate needs. With Judy having 20 plus years of experience, she is definitely the person to have working for you. She brings her enthusiasm and professionalism required to get you to the closing table and will make buying or selling a home easier for you. Call the Judy Koonsman team today at 903-581-0111. They're selling real estate with a smile.
You've waited months to bring it home? A beautiful painting that still takes your breath away, and you have just the right place in mind to hang it. All that's missing is a custom frame, that final detail that ties it all together. Trust your artwork to Gold Leaf Gallery. With an eye for detail and a heart for artists, Gold Leaf Gallery offers custom framing and personalized service. Gold Leaf Gallery in the French Quarter in Tyler. Framing by artists for artists. GoldLeafGallery.com.
Do you have acne or even the occasional breakout? With prescription-grade Proactive Plus, your acne can heal and you can prevent future breakouts. Try Proactive Plus 100% risk-free. Plus, get 2 free gifts and free shipping. Take it from me, Proactive really works. Get prescription-grade Proactive Plus, their amazing skin purifying mask, and a second gift of your choice. Totally free and free shipping. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you don't pay a penny. Call now, 800-281-8770. 800-281-8770.
We have all had plumbing problems at our house. We know how that feels.
That's Lori Townsend, Customer Service Manager at American Plumbing Company of Tyler.
Those of us in the office are not plumbers, but we all have plumbing, so we know how stressful that time can be. So we do what it takes to get a plumber to your home quickly.
Most of the time, calling the plumber is no fun. American Plumbing Company understands.
We know that no one plans on having a plumbing problem. We're not going to try to take advantage of you. We're going to do only what's necessary. We recognize that it's important to the customer to keep the costs down, and we're going to do everything we can to make that happen.
American Plumbing Company, serving all of East Texas for nearly 30 years. American Plumbing is fully insured and is an A-plus accredited business with the Better Business Bureau. Repairs, installation, and 24-hour emergency service. American Plumbing Company. Online at apctyler.com. American Plumbing Company. License number M10861.
We're right there on your clock radio first thing in the morning and in your dashboard as you dash around all day. We're KTBB. Download our app and listen on your smartphone or iPad. Thanks to Tyler Ford, it's free for iPhone and Android. Just search KTBB in the App Store. KTBB is your only local news radio, and we're working for you even when you're not near a radio. Your only local news radio. 97.5 FM, KTBB, and KTBB.com.
People say there are billions of dollars lost in a market crash. The truth is, they're not lost, they just exchange hands. And the good news is, by gaining the right kind of knowledge, you can learn to recognize the opportunities that exist and, more importantly, act on them. I'm Pastor David Mitchell, founder of Tradeway. Along with being an investment advisor, Tradeway offers our students a powerful education so that they can take their investments in their own hands. We break down the confusing world of finance so that you can understand it. We keep it simple, fun, and personal. Come join us at our next 2-day event called Step 1 Start Your Journey. You'll learn to take small steps to reach your biggest goals.
Coming to the Courtyard Tyler, July 8th and 9th, only $99.95 for your entire household, plus a free ticket for a friend and a full money-back guarantee. To register, call 877-907-TRADE. That's 877-907-8723, or go to Tradeway.com. That's Tradeway.com.
Looking for one of our advertisers? Search the advertiser directory at ktbb.com. ktbb.com. Hosted by Group M7.
And good morning. Thank you for joining us here at the Art Connection of East Texas. I'm Cindy Trimble, here with Nita Fran Ward.
Thank you for being with us.
We are excited to have our guest with us today. We were speaking a little with Gaylon Dingler. David, we'd like to turn the mic over to you. David Ackerson is also a teacher here and has a long history. Tell us a little bit about your story of art.
Well, actually, I think my beginning and interest of art started probably back in the second grade. We had some kind of contest. We had city was exchange cities for across the, I think it was in Europe at that time.
Sister City program?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea. I can't remember what it was that I drew up, but it won, and so they sent that piece off to Europe, and I, of course, at that point thought, wow, that's pretty interesting that I could do something and somebody was interested in it, and so I think that would be probably the beginning point, and from there, always was interested in the art parts of the education all the way through junior high and high school. And
what part of the teaching inspires you the most?
What part of teaching?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really enjoyed seeing kids, the light bulb come on for them, and see them get it, and to be able to take them from a point where they're, a little frustrated because they can't seem to understand what it is that you're trying to convey to them, but eventually it hits.
They have the aha moment.
Yes, an aha moment.
Persistence is the key.
Yeah. And so teaching them, I think mostly at that point was to learn to see, to observe, and once they kind of understood some of that principle, and then it went from there.
I think that goes to the story that Gaylon was telling us during the commercial break about the sky going to the ground. Can you tell that story?
When I was in the first grade, I went to Gary School, then Hogg School, and then the old Tyler High School downtown. But when I was at Gary School, we were given time to Crayola and draw a picture, and everybody's picture looked the same, a house with a small chimney with lots of smoke coming out, and a tree with a squirrel hole in it, and I put my sky in at the very top of the picture, the blue, and Ms. Mink took me to the window and said, "Gaylon, look, the sky comes down to the ground, goes behind the trees," and I was absolutely amazed, and I guess that was my first art lesson. And immediately my best friend that lived down the street from me was doing a Crayola drawing next to me, and he had his sky at the top, and I went over and told him, I said, "Hey, stupid, the sky comes down to the ground." And I guess that was my first lesson in teaching. Of course, I didn't call the kids stupid after that.
But that speaks to what you were mentioning, David, about teaching the children to see.
That's right. Yes. And to make those decisions about, is the sky blue, is the sky gray, is the sky, and that when they start seeing things, looking at things in a different way, and it develops over time, and then that's why I speak to that problem-solving thing. They start thinking, and you have to be a thinker in order to solve those problems. David, you tell us about your education, your formal education as in order to become a teacher, and then where have you actually taught?
I grew up in another country, Iowa. Anything north of the Red River is in another country. So I started, there's the University of Northern Iowa where I took a few lessons, and then I went off to a smaller school in South Dakota, Dakota Wesleyan University there, and studied under a man named Kurt Logic, which is from Czechoslovakia, so it was pretty interesting, the information I got from him. And then I came south to Texas, and actually started out here at Pine Cove is what brought me to Texas. And so from there I went to Dallas and had thought about going to Dallas Theological Seminary, but that didn't work out, and so I didn't get into teaching right away. I was working at Continental Trailways downtown Dallas, and then took a class out at North Texas State, and then 2 days before school started, Dallas called me and wanted me to start teaching at South Oak Cliff High School. And so I taught there for 2 years, and met my wife through church, and she, I guess, told me about Plano High School and Plano schools, and so I went to the administration and got on at Vines High School in Plano. Taught 8 years there. And I worked on master degree programs throughout the time, and then we started having kids and that sort of thing, so that kind of kept me from going on farther. But then from Plano I came here.
Okay. And you taught at, what schools did you teach here in Tyler?
I taught at John Tyler for 10 years and Robert E. Lee for 10 years.
Okay. You infected a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
Were you calculating 4,000 students?
You inoculated them with art.
The lights are on, and we're all home.
They're great
Talk
kids.
about your classroom, because Gaylon talked a little bit about his, and we're going to go back to that. But many people don't understand unless they have had the opportunity to take art in school. Talk about your classroom. And I know from having that education myself and having that experience, the preparation is enormous. You don't think that, but just the preparation and even the cleanup is enormous to prepare for each class to come in.
Well, I think the beginning of school was real important to kind of set the standard for the kids, what I expected of them when they came in to the class. And like you said, the cleanup is very important, and so they had responsibilities that I required them to fulfill, and if they didn't, then they might find themselves the next day doing a whole lot of cleanup.
Sure.
But, you know, setting an order for them was important, I think, not only for me, but for them, so they could follow it and know what I expected, and then they would come in and work on it.
How many times have both of you had that experience in your own aha moment of you stand in front of a student and looking at their work, and you realize that child has the potential to become an artist that is a professional?
Well, I being on the high school level, I received a lot of Gaylon students, and I mean, they were well prepared. So I found out where they came from right away, because I knew his students had some good background, and so there are kids that I mean, Tyler's blessed with some wonderful kids, and
yes, they are.
I enjoyed them a lot, and there were some that came in there that were far better artists than I am. I mean, they were really talented, and so just trying to encourage them and
let them fly.
Let them fly. Let them go on. Now, I had, unfortunately, because of the system, it's almost held them back a little bit, because we had to teach certain things. And we had to give tests, and
it restricts that creativity.
Yeah, it does. But once they get into the upper level classes, then we start letting them really. If you lay the foundation, then the creative part of that can come later on.
But the foundation is the most important part.
Yes,
you have to have that solid.
Absolutely,
place
and
to stand.
that is so true in math, science.
Anything
English,
you're doing.
anything that you're doing.
And you want to have that order in your routine.
Yeah.
Whether in art,
crawling to walking to running.
When you're teaching, it's also a two-way street. You learn a lot from the kids. You'll see them do something that you never thought about doing, and you use that in your teaching next time.
And you find yourself realizing as you work with each student, every child was so different that you had to work with every child in their own way. What was their level of ability, and also how fast you could move them forward, how much you could leave them to themselves, and how much this child needed extra help, and that kind of thing. And it's the same thing in math classes, and the art teacher does the same kinds of work.
We thank our good teachers, because that always makes a good difference too.
Sure. You have wrote 2 books. You have written 2 books. And when we come back from our commercial break, I want to talk about those 2 books, Gaylon.
Okay.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 2. Set a new button for 97.5 FM, KTBB.
Owning a piece of past times, a true antique reflecting quality of craftsmanship and beauty completes the decor of any home. You can find these treasures at 2 shops at Bergfeld Center. Silver Lining Antiques, a collection of shops, and Royal Passage Antiques and Gifts, both located in Bergfeld Center, offer the finest collection of antiques in East Texas. Both antique shops are full of special pieces thoughtfully displayed. Silver Lining Antiques and Royal Passage Antiques. Find them both in Tyler's Bergfeld Center.
We can pretty much do anything that we were able to do in New York City, here in our office and here in the hospitals in Tyler.
Dr. Scott Lieberman of Cardiovascular Associates of East Texas.
Arteries take blood away from the heart, veins take it back. There are problems that occur on both sides of that system. We have doctors here who specialize in treating vein disorders, and we have doctors in the practice that can open the arteries that go to the brain. We really have doctors that are trained in working the complete vasculature. Literally from the neck down to the toes, we have a doctor who can do something almost everywhere.
The very latest technology, world-class physicians, a focus on patients as individuals. Cardiovascular Associates of East Texas, a network of cardiovascular expertise all over East Texas, anchored by a state-of-the-art facility in Tyler. Online at caet.net. Cardiovascular Associates of East Texas.
Whatever your outdoor chores might be, and wherever those chores take you, Tyler's Rose Country Tractor has the equipment you need. It starts with a complete line of Kubota products. Kubota riding lawnmowers, zero-turn mowers, those workhorse RTVs, and tractors from compact up to the full-size cab models. Kubota has got you covered for your home, on the job, or the farm or ranch. Now, Kubota products are known for their quality, their durability, safety features, and the best warranty in the business. Plus, you'll also find brush hog and Vermeer products at Rose Country Tractor. You need tillers, disc, or hay balers? Rose Country Tractor's got you covered there, too. Robert or Junior can help you pick out the right piece of equipment for the job that you're facing. And it doesn't stop there. You see, they've got Big John and the crew in the service department and Rose and Nicholas in the parts department. Rose Country Tractor, #1 in tractor sales and service in Smith County. It will take just one visit and you'll find out why. They're on Tyler's Northeast Loop. It's Rose Country Tractor.
One of the business buzzwords today is metric. Hi, this is Paul Gleiser for the University of Texas at Tyler. A metric is a key measure of the economic value of something. When we were young, how much we spent on college wasn't so critical because, in the great arc of life, the money came back many times over. That metric has changed. College costs have greatly outpaced inflation, and many students are graduating college under a mountain of debt that affects every subsequent decision about their lives. That's why your student should consider the University of Texas at Tyler. With over 80 degree programs in a setting that emphasizes instruction and close student-faculty interaction, UT Tyler is a tremendous education value. Your student will leave the university with a fine education at a cost that makes a lifetime of economic sense. Think about smaller classes, lower tuition, and outstanding academics. Then schedule a tour at uttyler.edu. uttyler.edu, the University of Texas at Tyler.
As a family-owned business, the Bergfeld Insurance Agency values treasured heirlooms. The agency has been passed down through generations, so they understand the importance of ensuring family history. Trust the Bergfeld Agency to insure your collectible art and precious jewels. Homeowner policies may not cover your collection, so call today for a free quote. They're an independent agency offering customized policies from multiple carriers for home, auto, RV, and business. BergfeldAgency.com.
Take us with you on your smartphone or iPad. Search KTBB in the App Store. Sponsored by Tyler Ford.
We're back. Thank you for waiting for us to come back and for listening to our great commercials. On Saturday, June the 25th, this is next Saturday, we are really excited because we have Cassie Edmonds who's going to come on.
Oh, wonderful.
And she's going to talk about her installations, and she is a tremendous, well-known artist in the area. She is Don Edmonds' daughter, and Don and Bonnie Edmonds, and Don is going to be here with her, and Don actually does gourd art, and we have some in Valorosa, and we would love for you to come by and see his work. Come by and look at our beautiful Father's Day window. We have some great things in the Father's Day window at Valorosa. And some of Don's things are in there, and we have paintings in there. Also, in July, we want to tell you who's coming on to be on the show. July 2nd, we have a surprise. We're going to tape that show in advance because I'm going to be in New Mexico, but we are going to have a surprise for you. On July 9th, Natalie Sampson, who is a young student who has just graduated from Oklahoma University, and she has a job in Dallas with a big design company, and she is a graphic designer, very successful as a young artist who decided in that she was going to be an artist, and she was very encouraged by her grandparents and parents to do that. On July 16th, we have Gail Lassiter, who is a mural artist and a well-known artist in the area. And July 23rd, that's still hanging out there because I've not had a commitment from the person we've invited. We'll see if they can do it. Then on Saturday, July 30th, is Elaine Uthnussen. Elaine lives here in Tyler, but she is from South Africa, a lovely, lovely woman, and she paints great. And we have her work in the gallery.
So much to look forward to.
We are moving on.
You do a great job coordinating everything, Nita. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to... Gaylon, you made a statement just a moment ago, and I think people need to know this, and KTBB needs to know this. You said you listen to what every morning, and you listen to how many years every morning?
I listen to KTBB every morning.
And
it
a lot, yeah.
For the last 70 years.
70 years. It did me as a kid. I would practice my twirling in the front yard with KTBB on. It was great. Okay, we're going to talk about Gaylon's books. Gaylon, you brought me a book several weeks ago called The William Bagerstein Paintings. And then the other day when we talked, you said, I just finished and have published my second book, and it's called The Treasure Tattoo. And it looks as if it is a book about Native Americans. And it's about the Mexican Army. So where I want to go with this is artist, author. And I was thinking about you, and I wrote down something that I said, you are a AAA guest, and you are an artist, an author, and an art teacher. So that's pretty cool. You're AAA. Kind of like insurance.
Art to the rescue.
Yeah. Talk about your being an author and your desire to write. There's stories inside of you then.
When I was at North Texas, I was taking art history. And the class met about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a good time to sleep. But anyway, the teacher came in and said, class, you will not believe this today, but a painting sold, a Van Gogh painting sold for $6 million. In '62, that was the record. And I couldn't believe that. And for a canvas, $6 million for a sheet of canvas, I just couldn't believe it. And the old North Texas art building was a 4-story building under some big tall oak trees. And when I left that class, I went out and sat on the front porch. And my grandfather was very wealthy. He was a farmer, lived over in Henderson County. And I said, if I could talk to my grandfather and get him to go to France and buy a I got ahead of the story there, Van Gogh, for $3 or $4, and he leave it to me, I'd be worth millions now. Well, that story sat in my head until about, I guess, 6 or 7 years ago. And I was telling, I don't know if you know, James Wilkins, who writes for the Historical Society, and he's an artist. We were having coffee at Brady's coffee shop. And I told him about that story. He said, why don't you just go home and start writing it? And I did.
Great.
And it just seemed to just go natural. And instead of Van Gogh, I made up an artist named Vagerstein. And I don't want to tell you the plot, but how I got to own several multi-million-dollar Vagerstein paintings.
And it looks like a nice thick book, so it would keep you intrigued for quite a while.
Now, what inspired the Treasure Tattoo?
I was in, there's a group of us that eat at Grandy's on Saturday morning, And one of the coffee guys had a student from Brazil, an exchange student, and he did a lot of stuff with the tennis club or something. And I was looking at that young man's hair, and it was the most beautiful black hair and very, very dense. Mm-hmm. And I just put it in my mind, you know, if his dad or mother put a tattoo on his head, and after it grew out, he would never know his hair was so thick that he had a tattoo on his head.
Oh, my goodness.
And so that gave me the idea to start thinking about this story that I could make up. And I chose a kind of a Native American setting for this to happen. And you just have to read the story to see the result of it. I hope it's an exciting book. I hope when you start it, you can't put it down. But
the cover makes you feel that way. It immediately takes you on a voyage.
Well, writing the book is one thing, but learning how to market it, I don't know how to market it. You know, nobody knows my book is there.
Well, now they do.
Huh?
Now
well,
they
I hope
do.
People will buy
Where
both
can they
of
get
them and
it?
read them.
Yeah, where can we get them?
You have to order them now from Amazon.com.
Okay.
Or you can order it at Barnes & Noble, but they don't carry it in their store yet.
Sure. Okay.
But I hope they'll get approved to be sold in the store.
So it's the Treasured Tattoo, and Nita, what's the other one again?
The William Bagerstein, Vagersten paintings by Gaylon Dingler.
Perfect.
Writing is a lot of fun. It's like painting.
Well, of course it is.
You can paint. You can write about anything. I can say somebody jumped over the English Channel. You know, just jumped across it.
Mm-hmm. Or you can paint it.
Or I can paint it. You know.
Or you can paint it with lots of words.
No, it's you make whatever you want to up.
That's right. Isn't the mind absolutely amazing? The ability to create, and I've always said that's how we are so like God. You know, it says we were created in His image, and our spiritual lives, He gave us the ability to create, to think, and to create from nothing. We can take something, just as He did. Of course, He gave us the tools. We have all the tools available to us. He started out with nothing.
And wasn't it Einstein that said it's more important to have your intelligence and to have all of your art and your emotions to flow?
Yeah,
I forget the quote exactly. It escapes me.
David, you're going to be in the gallery today. You said that you would be happy to come this afternoon for people to come in and visit with you.
Sure.
I want them to come in and see your art. One of your paintings that you brought in, the big scene that has the fish in it. Every time I look at it, I just picture myself laying on the ocean floor, looking up through the water. The fish are flowing above me, and I can see the reflection of the sun. And I'm scared of water, but it's still peaceful to me because it's such a you can just see into it. It's like looking up into the sky. So come by, people, and see this beautiful work that David and Gaylon both have in the gallery. And Gaylon, you've just picked up some art, and you're going to bring it by and let me see it, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that piece is called Aquarium Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
It actually started off as I was interested in the galaxies and the planets and that sort of thing, and so I started that way. But I wasn't happy with it, so I started this abstract process that I use, and it ended up creating one of the things that happens when I do this process. It brings projectionism out, and so you begin to see things in there that didn't necessarily intend to be there. Mm-hmm. And so that's how this painting and some of my other abstracts that you have that started with.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you, my husband is a cowboy, and so there's a space between being the art person and the cowboy thing. You know, there's a little space between that, but he walked in. And he was in from New Mexico one weekend, and he walked in and he stood there and looked at it for several seconds, and it got his attention. And he said, "Fran, I like that." And he said, talk to me about this. And so we went through it, and I said, this is what I see. And he was kind of, and Bill's been through this art thing with me for 20-something years. And so it was kind of an aha moment for him to find himself so engaged in a piece of art.
Good. I'm glad I enjoyed it.
And you do realism as well as abstract.
Yes, yeah. I like to draw. Since I'm in Texas, I have some drawings of longhorns. Miss and I, we do some longhorn paintings type things. And then I grew up with watching Westerns, and John Wayne was probably my favorite. So
he inspired you.
So I just for my own enjoyment, I'm starting to do a bunch of his movie, just a representative of several of his movies.
Yeah.
And
well, that might be an interesting thing for you to draw today.
Yes, in fact, that's what
you're thinking. Good.
Yes, I have one of his on my board.
We're going to move on to a break, and we'll be right back.
News, talk, weather. Set a new button for 97.5 FM, KTBB.
Are you looking for an excellent and professional real estate team? Judy Koonsman and her team of professionals at Keller Williams Realty are ready and excited to help you with your real estate needs. With Judy having 20-plus years of experience, she is definitely the person to have working for you. She brings her enthusiasm and professionalism required to get you to the closing table and will make buying or selling a home easier for you. Call the Judy Koonsman team today at 903-581-0111. They're selling real estate with a smile. Oh, grocery store lines. Grocery stores are crowded with long lines and high prices. So why fight the chaos when you can be shopping where you get the highest quality product and personal service you won't find in any grocery store? Hebert's quality meats and entrees are prepared from scratch with the freshest ingredients. And once you get home from work, the work is done. Just pop it into the oven or on the grill. It's a short drive to Judson Road from anywhere in Longview, and it sure beats the hustle and bustle of any grocery store. Choose from Hebert's freshly cut pork chops, famous stuffed chickens, or any of their savory Cajun dishes. Slide it into the oven next to their twice-baked potatoes, and you have dinner for your family and a relaxing evening at home. Find Hebert's in Longview on Judson Road next to Lewis Morgan Drug, and in Lindale, 1 mile north of I-20 on Highway 69. Hebert'sTexas.com. That's HEBERTS Texas.com.
War, poverty, and disaster have left millions of children around the world orphaned, abandoned, alone. When their parents can't be there, SOS Children's Villages is there. SOS Children's Villages is the world's largest nonprofit for orphaned and abandoned children. In 134 countries, including the U.S., SOS Children's Villages provides vulnerable children with a loving and stable family, medical care, and an education. Children in crisis are counting on you. To make a difference in the life of a child, go to sos-usa.org.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn earrings today.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Michaela's got like the best earrings.
Sarah, buckle up.
I wish my name was Michaela.
We're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
It can be tough getting through to kids, but it's your job to make sure they're wearing your seatbelts. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Happy Father's Day from Great American Cookies. This Father's Day, treat your dad to a delicious cookie cake. Their cookie cakes are totally customizable for Dad. They can be ready in minutes. He will love it. Also, pick up a selection of homemade cookies in dozens and party trays. There's something for every special dad. Great American Cookies, with 2 Broadway Square Mall locations in Tyler, Longview Mall in Longview, and Lufkin Mall in Lufkin. Mention this ad and you'll get $2 off any size cookie cake from Great American Cookies.
Is this the sound of your business? Or is this what you hear instead? The award-winning professionals at Design Center Signs aren't just signage and graphic experts. Their team has over 200 years of combined image expertise, from promotional products to incentives to corporate apparel and screen printing. They can show you how to attract more attention, sales, customers, and opportunities for your company. Why is Design Center Signs #1 in East Texas? You just can't find a higher level of professional service and attention anywhere else, and they will exceed your expectations with the best in customized quality products that meet your quick turnaround needs. If you're looking for a competitive, results-driven partner, Design Center Signs is the single source for anything with your name on it. Whether you need to brand, advertise, inform, promote, or reward, Design Center Signs has your business solution available right now. Order online at designcentersigns.com or stop by their new facility and showroom in Tyler, Grande Boulevard between Old Jacksonville and Highway 155. Design Center Signs.
News, weather, anytime, anywhere at KTBB.com. KTBB.com. Hosted by Group M7.
Well, we're back with the last segment of Art Connection of East Texas. Thank you, Cindy, for being with me again this morning. And I know you had an event happen this week, getting bitten or stung.
I did. I had multiple stings by a wasp, and I love all pollinators. I like them to crawl on me and tickle me, but I did have a little situation, so be careful and mindful and see a doctor when appropriate, which I did.
That's right.
So I'm better.
Well, I want all of you to know that we just made an entrepreneurial business decision. Gaylon is going to bring some of his books to Valorosa.
That's so exciting.
And we're going to sell his books out of Valorosa because they're art related, and we think that that's an important thing. And we recognize the artistic talent there is with authors. So, David, I want to ask you for one last thing about you. If you were to say that the one thing that you found to be the most important within your art classroom, what would you tell a teacher, a young teacher that's starting out, to establish in their classroom?
I think that the thing for me was, again, I think we've already mentioned it, pretty much just laying that foundation and getting...
Can you be a little more specific with that?
It goes back to design and stuff, where you're using a line and shape and texture and color and value structure. But in that process, the kids need to observe. Like if you set up a still life, how do you put that still life on a blank piece of paper? You know, what do you start off with? Well, you don't start off with color. You start off with line, and those lines create shapes and so forth. So following that process to leading to a concluding piece of work that has some good contrast, good value structure in it, if it's just a drawing. So working that process, and in that process again is getting the kids to see what's really there, instead of, you know, you can draw a basketball, but if you don't really look at the basketball and find the textures that are on there, then it's just a circle. So
yeah, the elements and principles and of principles in design.
Well, I think you're talking about what it is to see. I was in a situation where they told everybody to draw a coffee cup, so everybody kind of drew that from the side. And they're like, okay, how many of you drew it from the perspective of looking down into the cup, a different perspective?
Yeah. And that's one of the design elements. Gaylon, thank you for being here with us this morning. We really appreciate it. We know you guys have to get up real early, and you said that you and a bunch of guys have been having breakfast together for years?
Yes.
Is this a power meeting? You make things happen? You talk about the world?
We solve the world's problems, yes.
You solve them
I'm so glad someone is.
Yeah. I might want to come one of these days. Where do you meet?
Grandy's.
At Grandy's on Saturday morning? And is Mr. Gentry there?
Sometimes.
I may just come there and interview him.
Sometimes.
A live broadcast on the road.
I just want you to know, Mr. Gentry, I'm on your trail.
Me too. I was so eager to meet you. Anticipation.
And David, thank you for coming. We really appreciate you being here, and it's exciting to think about David. He's going to be in the gallery at Valorosa Designs and Gallery this afternoon. He'll be there about 1 to 3 maybe, somewhere in that range, and he's going to be drawing. And bring your children by and let them stand there and watch him. And if you're interested in art in any way, we would love to have you visit us.
And thank you to all the teachers who inspire us all every day.
Absolutely, that give us so much. And one of these days, I'm looking for an opportunity to have a show about the right-left brain and how it really is a real thing within our thought processes. So we say goodbye to you, and we'll see you next week.
All over East Texas, all in one place on the FM dial. Set a new button for 97.5 FM, KTBB.